Hey everyone, so this video will consist of all of the documents that I went over during episode 1 of the case files of Letecia Stauch, and it will be just read straight through with no commentary. So sit back, relax, and take a listen. The following is the safe passage interview with Al and Landon, who are Gannon's bio parents. Prior to the interview, I, along with Detective Arndt and FBI forensic interviewer Karen Blackwell, met with Albert and Landon to obtain information that may assist in the forensic interview. During the conversation, Al and Landon said they have been keeping Lena away from the media as much as they can. Al said Lena did see the video that was put on news because he was watching it and she looked over his shoulder. The video on the news is a home camera system where it is assumed that Letecia and Gannon get in a red truck in the driveway. Both parents said that Lena is seeking a lot more attention lately. They said that Lena is starting to put some things together from when Gannon went missing. They said Lena has realized that some of the things stepmother Letecia started saying about Gannon is just a lie. Lena has been calling Letecia a liar. Landon and Al said they are trying to not let Lena hear adult conversations about Gannon. Landon said that Lena is in counseling and has completed a session so far. During the counseling session, the counselor stated she just watched Lena and did not ask many questions. The following is the safe passage interview with Lena, who is Gannon's younger sister and who was 8 years old at the time. When it was time for the forensic interview to begin with Lena, she didn't want to go into the interview room. Karen, along with Landon, Al, and staff from Safe Passage, attempted to get Lena in the interview room for a while. However, Lena did not want to go into the room. At first, Lena didn't want to leave the playroom, and then she would run around the building into different rooms and hide underneath a table in a conference room. While she was running around the hallways, she was laughing and saying she didn't want to be in there. Due to attempting to get Lena into the interview room, there were 2 CDs made with recordings. The first CD consisted of attempting to get Lena into a room, and the second CD consisted of the interview with Lena. After approximately 30 minutes, at approximately 9:52 a.m., Lena went into the interview room with Karen and the interview began. The following is a synopsis of the interview with Lena and should not be considered a verbatim transcription. The interview was audio and video recorded, which was later placed on a CD and entered into the El Paso County Evidence Facility, evidence number 203, along with the notes and a drawing Lena completed. Karen started the interview by attempting to build rapport with Lena. Karen told Lena that during this interview, she is not in trouble and they just want to talk about stuff that is true and real. Lena nodded her head yes. She would talk to Karen. However, during the interview, Lena struggled to remain still, and on at least 2 occasions, she ran out of the interview room. Due to Lena being unable to focus, a full interview could not be completed. However, the following information was obtained. Lena said they went hiking on Sunday, January 26, 2020. She began to explain the hike. She said at the end of the hike, Gannon used the bathroom in his pants. Lena says later that night, there was a fire. Gannon forgot to put his candle out and the candle got knocked over. Letecia, saved Bubba's. Bubba is a nickname that Lena uses for Gannon. Tisha put blankets over Gannon to put out the fire. Gannon had a little bit of fire of his shirt. When Lena was describing where the fire was on Gannon, she pointed to her left side lower abdomen. It is unsure if Gannon's shirt was on fire. Lena said when the fire happened, she was in her bedroom on her bed. Lena heard the fire alarm going off. Tisha said, Load up in the car with the puppies." Gannon was freaking out, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm really sorry." Tecia kept saying, "Okay, it's okay." They drove around in the car. When they got back home, Tecia told Lena to go into Ticia's room because she did not want Lena to go into her own bedroom. Lena said Tecia did not want Lena in her own room because people can look through her window. Lena was in Ticia's room and was watching the puppies. Tecia was downstairs with Gannon. Lena could hear Gannon crying. Karen said, "Well, what happened next?" Lena said, "Well, then it was the next day." Karen asked Lena if Gannon's shirt caught on fire and how she knew that. Lena said the shirt did catch on fire, and she knew this because Tecia told her. Tecia showed Lena her burn mark. When Lena was describing where Tecia got burned, she pulled up her sleeve on her left arm and pointed to the bottom of her forearm. Gannon's burns were also on his arm, but Lena did not know which arm. Karen asked how she knew. Lena said, "'Cause Tecia told me." Lena said Tecia was freaking out and described this as Tecia in her room taking several very deep breaths, and then said she fell asleep in her bed. When Tecia was freaking out, Gannon was in Lena's bed because there was smoke downstairs. Tecia and Lena put Gannon in Lena's bed. Gannon was crying, but not anymore when he went into Lena's bed. Gannon did not say anything when he was crying. Lena said when it was time for her to go to bed, Gannon was taken to his room by Tecia and Lena so Lena could sleep in her own bed. Lena said when Tecia moved Gannon to his room, Gannon was asleep. Harley came home from work at Massage Envy. She came home and began loving her dog Chance. Tecia and Lena told Harley what happened, referencing the candle. Harley asked if Gannon was okay. Tecia told Lena, "You have to go to sleep in your bedroom." Lena went to her room and went to sleep. Lena said when she went to sleep, Tecia and Harley were watching TV in the living room. When Gannon was in Lena's bed, Lena was in Daddy's room, in the bed with the dogs. Lena said Daddy was on an airplane. Lena said the following day she had school because it was Monday, January 27th, 2020. Gannon could not go to school because of his tummy. Lena said, "Tecia made this up, and it was just a lie." Lena talked about Tecia putting Gannon in the car, went somewhere, dropped him off, and then went back home. Karen asked how Lena knew about that. She said she saw it on someone else's camera. He lives 2 houses down, and his camera can see all the way to his house. This was also the video that was on the news that Lena saw. When Lena went to school, she said Gannon was in his room sleeping. She knew he was asleep because she helped put him in his bed. When she helped put him in his bed, Karen asked what Gannon looked like. Lena demonstrated straightening her body out on the couch to act as if she was sleeping, and she closed her eyes. She said Tecia had to bend Gannon's legs because he was too sleepy to walk. Tecia and Lena helped Gannon go downstairs. They took him to his bedroom. Then Lena saw the fire spot. She described a big cutout on the carpet near the couch. She said there was also some candle wax on the couch. Lena said when she was getting ready for school, Harley was at work. Lena asked Karen if she could use the restroom. When Karen and Lena came back into the room, Karen continued the conversation discussing what occurred when she came home from school. Lena stated that Tecia was the only one home and she just got done working out. Lena asked Tecia where Gannon was, and she replied he was downstairs sleeping. Lena asked if she could go check on him, and Tecia said no. Lena described Tecia as cleaning stuff. Tecia was cleaning her room and the kitchen. She got the supplies to clean stuff from under the sink. While Tisha was cleaning, Lena went outside to ride Gannon's bike because something was wrong with her bike. When Lena was done riding her bike, Tisha was the only one at the house and she was still cleaning. She was cleaning her room and the kitchen. Lena said when Tisha went to pick up Albert from the airport, she stayed at the babysitter's house. When asked what occurred next, Lena said it was Tuesday. Lena did not go to school because Gannon was missing. Lena said that Tisha acted good with her and then left the room. Karen was able to get Lena back to the room to continue the interview. Karen was able to only ask one more question of what Lena had to eat. Lena replied, popcorn, soup, beef jerky for a snack, and had cereal for dinner. Lena then walked out of the room, concluding the interview. So the final documents that we will be going over in episode 1 are instances of abuse that were being reported from Gannon himself as closely as 2 weeks prior to his murders that never were reported to authorities. It reads as follows. On March 6, 2020 at 8:37 a.m., I, Detective John Price, was contacted by Detective Sergeant Jacob Abenschauen. He told me he received a phone call last night from Redacted. She attended a school function at which she learned there were reports of physical abuse made to the staff of Ground Mountain Elementary School. The reports are alleged to have occurred last fall and again 2 weeks prior to the disappearance of Gannon. The report in January was the result of a bruise on Gannon, which his teacher thought was indicative of physical abuse. No report of this bruise was made to DHS. Gannon's teacher is redacted. So the sergeant directed me to follow up on this concern. At 10:12 a.m., I spoke with Landon via telephone, which is Gannon's mom. She stated she met with a DHS caseworker yesterday and learned that DHS had no prior reports of child abuse concerning Gannon or Lena. However, Landon has learned that sometime last fall, Gannon reported to Redacted that he had been physically abused by Letecia. Further, 2 weeks prior to his disappearance, he showed bruises to Redacted and reported that Letecia had caused them. Redacted reported it to the school administration, but the complaint did not go any further. Landon confronted Redacted about this abuse, which Redacted is Al. Al responded with an angry text demanding that Landon apologize to Letecia for this accusation. Landon sent me a copy of this text and 2 photos of Lena's lip injury. So this was an incident with Lena at the time. She stated she had already disclosed this information to a detective during a prior interview, and that these images had already been discovered during a download of her cell phone. Landon did not have any additional information. I researched and discovered both Redacted and the staff of Grand Mountain Elementary School have been interviewed by detectives Bethel and Riley. Further, Mrs. Troutman has also been apparently interviewed by an unknown detective. Detectives Bethel and Riley are not working today. I sent Landon a text informing her of my plan to confer with detectives Bethel and Riley and pursue this matter further after that. Alright guys, so those were all the documents we went over during episode 1. The rest of the episodes pre-records will be dropped shortly, and then episode 4 will be airing live tomorrow on my channel, so I hope to see you all there.